Welcome back to the vlog. First things first, we have a new episode of Adventure Archives out right now. Catalina Island! Apparently the movie Step Brothers had something called the Catalina Wine Mixer. I have not seen the movie, but I've heard many people mention the Catalina Wine Mixer. Anyways, that's not what we did. We hiked across most of the island. There's a northern portion of the island that we did not do, but we started in Avalon and then hiked across the southern portion of the island and then exited at Two Harbors. Just from the variety alone, it was easily one of my favorite episodes we've ever done. On that note, the editing for the next episode, which is a road trip, is already in progress. And this one you will be seeing much sooner than the wait for the last episode. I'm gonna start editing right now. In the meantime, we have one more unboxing that we still need to do. Okay, and welcome to day 3 of unboxing. We have something from Andrew and Mandy. Hey guys, we come from the trail and ultra running space and have been enjoying your videos for several years. We want to share a couple of our favorite items and hope you enjoy them as much as we do. Squirrel Nuts Butter Anti-Chafe. Squirrel's Nut Butter. Squirrel's Nut Butter. Squirrel's Nut Butter, I think. All natural anti-chafe. And then some electrolyte mix and energy chews from Scratch Lab. All right, we got the Scratch right there. Oh, very nice. Wow, there's a ton of them. Oh, these are fruit snacks. We know you already have a preferred fruit snacks, but these have been good to us on our adventures. Raspberry and matcha are our 2 favorite flavors, but we'll let you decide what you think. Just a heads up, the cherry ones have a higher caffeine content and can be a little bit bitter from it. Oh, there's caffeine. Wow, that's very interesting. You know what? Let's try raspberry right now. I love a good fruit chew. Delightful. Andrew and Mandy, thank you so much. These are great. Metal Gear Solid Delta. This is a remake of the 3rd Metal Gear Solid game, which originally came out in, I think, 2004, which would make this a 21-year later remake. How has it been 21 years? I played about 2 hours of this last night, and man, the gameplay is still rock solid. The atmosphere, music, voice acting, they did a new version of the Snake Eater song, one of my favorite pieces of music of all time. Weirdly though, the graphics are kind of a mixed bag. The lighting and model quality is just incredible, and obviously the motion capture still looks absolutely fantastic. But the resolution and frame rate are just a little bit, I don't know much about Unreal Engine, but I feel like Unreal Engine just has always looked kind of dirty. You know what I mean? Like ever since Gears of War 1, it's just looked a little bit dirty and it never feels like that clean. It doesn't have that clean Nintendo feel. Anyway, the iPhone came out in 2008, and I think at the very, very beginning, you could run video game emulators on here. Then for years and years after that, they did not allow them. Finally, after like 16 years, probably because of antitrust worries, Apple finally started allowing video game emulators on all of their devices. Thus, I have set up emulators on my iPad finally, and man, what a delightful way to play old video games. Look at this. Can you imagine back in the day, in 2001, when Chrono Cross came out? If you had told future me there would be a device that looks like this, that would let you play any PlayStation 1 game portably on just a magnificently beautiful screen, I actually would have believed you. But I would have been very, very excited about this prospect. Before this, I've never really been that into emulation because I have other ways of playing the games. I generally prefer to play on original hardware. And up until like maybe 5 years ago, all of the portable hardware wasn't powerful enough to run these games to the performance level that I wanted it to be. But now an M4 iPad is more powerful than most people's computers. So this is just, man, just a super delightful way to play these old games. If you're curious, I'm using the GameSir Supernova controller that I reviewed, and what's really great about it is it has a power switch. So that way I can actually keep it in my bag without worrying about it turning on accidentally. Power switch, come on man, listen. More controllers need power switches. Another power switch, man. Another great emulation system is the Steam Deck. Playing Wave Race on here with a nice CRT shader. Oh, just wonderful. Now, keep in mind that everything I'm about to say is totally ridiculous and is an unbelievably first world privileged thing to talk about. With that being said, I don't know how to choose which of these systems to play. Now, if we're just talking about playing the games, the Steam Deck OLED seems like the obvious choice. Amazing OLED screen, by far the biggest library because you can play all those PC games, pretty much emulate anything under the sun, including the Nintendo Switch. But look how big and beefy this boy is. So then you're like, okay, well, I want something smaller. Okay, I've got the Switch OLED. Beautiful screen, great library, not as big obviously, but it's much more small and portable. But it's so underpowered and you can't play any emulation on it, so you're like, okay. So then you go back to the Steam Deck OLED and you're like, well, it's still too big and maybe it doesn't do other stuff as well. So like if you're going on a vacation, then you're like, well, maybe I'll take the iPad. Beautiful OLED screen. I can emulate tons of stuff on there, not as much as on the Steam Deck, but I can also do other stuff on it too. Watch YouTube videos, watch Netflix, do regular computer stuff, and it's got the biggest screen of everything. But then you're like, I can't play Nintendo exclusive games. So you're like, okay, well, let me get the Switch too. And then you're like, oh man, Donkey Kong Bonanza is such a great game. I have so much fun with it. But the screen is such a downgrade and it's so much bigger. And then the cycle just continues. And I have all of these devices and I use all of them. But every time I go somewhere, I have to decide which of these am I bringing? What am I most in the mood for at that moment? And what I'm about to say is probably the most ridiculous thing, but in some ways, life was so much easier when there were no options. Back in the day when you just had a terrible looking Game Boy and that was your only option, you didn't have to think about it, you just played the dang game. There's a guy named Mike Chi who makes these devices that lets you play old video games on modern TVs. And one of the things he's always saying is just play the game. Like, it's fun to get into how to make the picture quality the best and thinking about, what is the best experience? What's the original experience? What's the true experience? And in the end, you gotta just forget some of that stuff and just remember what you're doing in the first place, which is playing the game. What will come as a surprise to absolutely no one who's watched these videos before is that I tend to overthink stuff like this. So many people are just like content, happy, playing a game on their original Switch with smudges all over it and like debris and like one of the Joy-Con doesn't work and they don't care. They're just like, this is great, I'm playing this game. I am not like that. So I sometimes have to pull myself back from the brink and just say, just play the game, man. Okay, we got another package from a viewer here, and as a reminder, if you want to send us anything, send us a message at patreon.com/adventure. You don't need to be a paying member, you can just send us a message, and we will give you the address. Anyway, this is from... But it's Tent Stakes. I can't actually remember who sent these. Please let me know who sent them because I do remember talking to you very recently, but I couldn't find the message. We got some nice tent stakes. I'm not sure what prompted them to send these. There must have been some recent episode where we were like struggling to get tent stakes or something. I don't know, but always good to have some extras. Thank you very much. They will be very useful. That will do it for today's vlog. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to get back to editing the next Adventure Archives episode. Do I have anything to report? Nothing really to report. Fall weather is just around the corner, which means some good fall trips should be coming up. Hope you have a good one. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. You're laughing now. I will be laughing later.
It's a great idea. It's hilarious.
All the way to the bank.